History, dinosaurs, football. Hey, it must be Friday. How you doing? Mr. H here with you on planet Earth. I hope you had a fantastic week. I hope you can have a great weekend, and next week is just full of possibilities. Who knows what we can accomplish, huh? Well, hey, how you doing, man? I know I just asked you that, but I'm just in such a great mood because it's Friday, and I get to hang out here with you. So I was watching the news. Two big stories out there. One's that election thing on Tuesday. I try to keep away from domestic politics, but I will keep up with current events. Yeah, the other story, North Korean soldiers in Russia. When you hear about North Korea in the news, it's usually not good. Trying to think of a time it was good to hear about North Korea in the news. Nope, can't think of anything. Anyway, so North Korea apparently has soldiers in Russia. What are they doing there? I don't think they're sightseeing. They're supposed to go into combat in Ukraine. Yeah, they say they're not really going to do that. Yeah. What else would they be sending soldiers there for? Some people say they're going to be doing like trench work and hard labor kind of stuff. To be honest with you, I think they've already been there for a while, probably firing artillery and stuff kind of way back there. I suppose they got hit by a Ukrainian missile, lost a few guys. So we'll see how this turns out. But how do we know there are actually North Korean soldiers there? Well, you look around for somebody who's, wearing a North Korean uniform. That'd be one way to find out. Well, this is what the idealized North Korean uniforms look like. This is from the Korean War back in 1950. What do you notice about it? Yeah, very heavy Soviet look to it, or maybe even Chinese. That's how we usually see North Koreans. There they are with the training video, fixed bayonets running. Bayonets are great for everything in modern warfare except actually stabbing somebody. Probably not going to get in close enough, but it is great for, cutting through barbed wire and opening cans, things like that. Here we got some North Korean guys. I guess they're soldiers or they're in a prison camp. I'm not really sure. Yeah, this guy's decided he's kind of done with the whole thing. You don't really get a chance. You don't really get an option in North Korea, pal. This is the picture I like to show, right? Goose stepping by, got the bayoneted AKs over there. I got a question here for you. All these medals. You haven't been in an actual war since, 1953, so what are you getting all these medals for? You know, asking for a friend. Nonetheless, as you can tell, very much a Soviet-looking uniform. The helmets are kind of interesting, almost look like the old U.S. steel pot, but it's supposed to be again, Soviet helmet. And I see they don't tuck in their pant legs into their boots. So, if you're out in the field somewhere, it's going to get snagged, and if it's snagged on the field, it could easily be a landmine. So, a little bit of advice here from Mr. H. Tuck in your pants to your boots. North Korea has a history of fooling around in places they're not supposed to be. I mean, you think they're just in North Korea, right? Fighting against South Korea, and they've had their clashes there. But did you know that North Korea actually fought in the Vietnam War against the United States? Yeah, the U.S. is upset that North Korea is going to fight in the Ukraine against Ukraine, but they fought against Americans before too. In 1967 and 1968, they sent two squadrons down there, the 291st, 293rd. Sent about 20 planes, and they rotated 200 pilots through. That's a MiG 17. He also flew MiG 21s. 14 of their pilots never came back. They claimed to have shot down some American planes. They said they shot down 4. We can confirm 4 shoot downs, 3 maybes. As for North Korea, 14 of them didn't come back. So 14-4, we still beat you, man. So after they did their own little tour in Vietnam, they popped up in the Yom Kippur War. Pilots again. These guys are allegedly at some ceremony in Cairo. They're flying for the Egyptian Air Force. They were also flying Egyptian-marked planes, so you couldn't tell, if they're actually North Koreans or not. They claimed to have shot down 4 Israeli planes. The Israelis said they had no idea the North Koreans were even there. So I got a feeling maybe they didn't, really beat up on Israel too much. So the Israeli Air Force did have a bit of a hassle in 1973 because they were luring the Israelis into attack, like to strike things, and then try to ambush them with pre-placed anti-aircraft guns instead of just, haphazardly spread like they usually do. But, North Koreans said they were there. I don't doubt that they were, but we don't have any stats, and I don't think they really had a huge impact on anything. But you can tell there's a history of North Korea fooling around in places you don't expect to see them. Now, granted, that was way back in 1973, and we haven't seen them fooling around on a large scale anywhere else, but times change. And here in 2024, they claim that there are pictures of North Korean soldiers in Russia. All right, like I said, I don't doubt they're there. We're going to see them soon enough. They have these pictures, which I don't really think they tell you anything. All I'm seeing here are a bunch of guys who might be North Koreans in some room, someplace, picking up equipment. So I don't know. Is that Russia? Could be North Korea. Could be China. For all I know, these could be Vietnamese soldiers. Don't really know. See this guy folding up stuff. They must be really big into recycling. All right, yeah, here's another picture of North Koreans in Russia. Really? This is Russia? I mean, the barbed wire gives that Russian sort of feel to it, but do you really know that's Russia? Could be North Korea. Could be China. It could be the warehouse district downtown. They always put barbed wire up, keep people from stealing things. So who knows what that is? Like I said, could be anywhere. They released this picture too. Apparently, the dear leader over here visited his soldiers over in Russia. Again, this could really be any place. I don't know. I mean, there are hills in Russia, hills in Korea. There's a hill right there in my front yard. I mean, it could be anywhere. I mean, they're definitely North Koreans. I don't doubt that. Got the flag over here. They look like Koreans, So, don't know if there's really an actual picture of North Koreans in Russia. Maybe it's all distractions for them to come here. Yeah, Red Dawn 2012. Did you see that movie? Yeah, Red Dawn back in '84. That wasn't very good. No one expected it to be very good. 2012, were we supposed to take this movie seriously? I don't know. I didn't. Allegedly, these are North Korean soldiers who invaded the United States with some kind of secret weapon. Is this the secret weapon right here? Is that what this thing is? Looks like you bought it at Walmart someplace. So, North Korea, getting into trouble in places they don't need to be. Hey, let's talk about some river monsters. Oh, sorry, lake monsters. Yep, Loch Ness, the most famous one of all. Take a look at this thing, Loch Ness. Look kind of familiar, right? Has that plesiosaur sort of look to it, long neck. It's got the head on the long neck and the four flippers and everything. A lot of people who try to poke holes in Loch Ness theory are going to say that a plesiosaur was a salt lake animal. I mean, a salt river animal. Yeah, it was. My question is how many animals you have for an actual sustainable population for millions of years. If there are a whole bunch in Loch Ness, you would have seen a lot more by now. But I digress. Let's talk about what the Loch Ness monster might be. People give this a plesiosaur sort of look. Other people say if it is a plesiosaur, it's a saltwater animal, and Loch Ness is fresh water. Well, if you're going to run down that path of argument, I'm going to say if it has survived for 70 million years, don't you think it might have evolved at some point? Yeah, maybe it became a freshwater animal. Hey, Lake Champlain, upstate New York. We got another, lake monster up there. This photo from 1977. Look at that long neck, got the head. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, a tail or something. I don't know, but they say it's a picture of Champ, right? The monster of Lake Champlain. Again, kind of that plesiosaur sort of look to it. The Ogopogo in British Columbia. Been here, didn't see any monsters. Allegedly, here it is staring at you out of the water. I don't know, could be a log, could be photoshopped, maybe it's an actual monster, who knows. There it is allegedly cruising across the river, or lake I should say. Could be anything, I don't know. Point is, it's reputed to have a plesiosaur kind of look to it. And again, people are going to say a plesiosaur was a saltwater animal. No way it could be living in a freshwater lake. Again, 70 million years, maybe it evolved. Well, it looks like we found some plesiosaur bones out in the desert. There it is in Morocco. So you know that thing's out in the desert someplace. A place called the Kem Formation. Some people say, well, it used to be, the ocean. This is supposed to be a coastline. That's true. But, and this is clearly plesiosaur remains. But you know what we found next to them? Gastropods. Yeah, so we've got some clams, and they're freshwater clams. So if it's not in a lake, it's definitely in an estuary someplace. So it's at the mouth of a river. And, we've actually found the river, too. In case you forgot what a plesiosaur was, right? So could you imagine this thing cruising around and saltwater in a freshwater area? Yeah, that could happen. So anyway, I wanted to show again that yeah, it looks like a coastline, but they also have evidence of rivers coming in. And the place they find the plesiosaur, remains, you would think would be here on the coast. They find them kind of inland, so they're not totally sure where the coast is, but it's definitely hanging around the coast. And like I said, if the river is flowing into the ocean and you find the remains near where the river is flowing into, that's a combination of fresh and salt water. So if it can hang out in both, why not in fresh water? And it's not the only place in the Sahara. Look at this. There's at least 8 sites in the Sahara where you find ocean fossils. Right, we're emphasizing the chem because in the chem you can see the layers, so you can actually, determine how old the fossils you're finding are, and also the kind of environment. So lots of ocean fossils, and of course number 8's the interesting one. If, the Egyptians said the Nile has been there forever. Yeah, apparently it has, at least 250 million years anyway, right? Yep, still a river, still flowing through Egypt. How old is this place exactly? I was thinking 3500 BC was too recent. Maybe it goes further back than that, who knows? So there's a plesiosaur hanging out on the ocean coast over there. So if it can hang around outside, the water for a while, if it can go into fresh water and the salt water, why couldn't it live in a lake? Now, you know where this argument's going to go, right? People are going to say it's a plesiosaur. Some people say it doesn't really exist. It's going to be a question of you're both right and you're both wrong, because you're going to find out it's not a plesiosaur and it's something else. Sometimes, man, you just need to stay out of the water. You're just visiting. They live there. Hey, let's talk about some football here, man. How about my Steelers dispatched both New York teams? Right, they took out the Jets 37-16. They knocked off the Giants 26-18. Yeah, a lot of field goals. You noticed that? It wasn't a very hard game. I mean, looking down at his feet, not the quarterback, so he should win that one. And here we are, Austin catching the ball, and I have no idea what this guy is looking at. You want to know why you lost the game, huh? So Steelers are 6-2. We're in first place in the AFC Central Division. Hey, thanks to Cleveland knocking off Baltimore for us. And Steelers have a bye week this week, which is the perfect time for a bye week. Middle of the season, man. None of this week 3 bye week. I mean, come on, man. I mean, first of all, I don't like the 17-game season. I think I've said that 100 times here. And they're trying to get 18, they are. But I always thought that the bye week should be right in the middle of the season. Everybody takes a week off, or you can split it. Half off one week, half off the other. But this spread them out from week 3 to week 10. Oh, come on, man. You've been doing this since what, 1990? Get it together. Now, just because the Steelers have the week off doesn't mean there's no interesting football going on. Yep. Canadian Football League playoffs are starting. They finally finished their 18-game season. And the CFL playoffs are interesting. You got fewer teams, 2 divisions, right? Here's the East. Montreal won I don't know why they put this games played stuff. I can kind of figure out how many games they played. But anyway, Montreal wins the East there, 12-5-1, home field advantage. Here in the semifinals coming up, we got Ottawa playing Toronto. Toronto's got the better record at 10-8. Ottawa 9-8-1, not that far back. So Ottawa plays against Toronto, and it's not Toronto, it's Toronto. And Montreal has the week off, and the next week they play the winner of this, and then whoever wins that game goes to the Grey Cup. See, it's not that hard to figure out. In the West, Winnipeg won the division here, 11-7. Saskatchewan's 9-8. BC is 9-9. So Saskatchewan got a slightly better record this week. British Columbia plays Saskatchewan, and the winner moves on to Winnipeg next week. Winnipeg just watching this whole thing. Saskatchewan is where I have relatives. My cousin Pete's up there, big Rough Rider fan. So by extension, I'm a Rough Rider fan. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe they'll win one. They haven't won a Grey Cup since 2013, so they're overdue. So here are the CFL playoffs. Now you understand how they operate. Semifinals got Ottawa against, who's that? No, not Toronto. It's Toronto. And over in the West, it's British Columbia, or just BC, going up against Saskatchewan. And so the winner here going to play who? Montreal next week. And the winner here plays Winnipeg next week. And whoever wins that game next week goes to the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Been to Vancouver. Me and Mrs. H went there. Not very nice people. I don't know what the deal is. Everybody is so rude over in Vancouver. I mean, nobody knows how to drive. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Maybe because the British Columbia Lions haven't won a Grey Cup in a long time. Maybe because their hockey team really stinks. It keeps blowing the Stanley Cup. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Vancouver. I don't know. I don't know what their problem is, but I know this. I don't live there, so I don't care. You guys have yourself a fantastic time. Be safe. Don't visit Vancouver. And don't forget to check out Mr. H's book, Heaven's Steel, over on Lulu.com and all the other places. And the sequel is almost here. Almost there. Almost done with it. I'll let you know when it shows up. Don't worry. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Das Vidanya.